So for the people who are watching right now and asking about the uses of this technology, if they would ask, how do they work? How can we reply to them? How can we help them understand how this technology works at such fast level?
They are like this sacred cubit ring is based on sacred geometry. The last cubit has been a calculation because there was something missing, and in Egypt they called those cubit lengths meter, and each meter had, or cubit length had, a special quality to it. So, and like a one sacred cubit has a frequency of 144, a one lost cubit has a frequency of 177. And so the combination of the way the wire is twisted, the power that is in the tensor field, and the beats are simply amplifiers, so they amplify the energy. So, and this is how they are working, and so they are whatever the person needs, you know, like we all have different spaces in our times in our lives where we have a lot of energy or where we are depleted for whatever reason. So when we are not feeling our best, the ring can help us bring more energy back to us. When we place them somewhere on our body where we have discomfort, they can help relieve the discomfort. Mm-hmm. And I would never say don't go to a doctor, use a ring. You know, so be very clear on that. You know, do whatever you need to take care of yourself. And all the light life tools have been helping people a lot to improve their health and well-being and to release discomfort, stress. You know, like wearing a harmonizer, and the one I'm wearing is this one, and then it has another size around it. And the harmonizer, of course, everything comes in gold and silver. And I personally prefer silver, but many people like gold because it has a higher vibration. Now, I met a law enforcement officer, and she in Denver, and she said, Katharina, I'd rather be late to work, which is a no-no really, before I don't go with my harmonizer. And she noticed an enormous difference when she goes. She's called to the same places for the same fights. But since she wears the harmonizer, she noticed that the people that were in her face, totally, you know, furious, and they would come down. And what the harmonizers are doing, they are creating this harmonious field around you. So this little one has a field of about 5 to 7 feet, which is about 1 meter 50 to 2 meter 20 or 10, something like that. You know, so this one has probably double the size, 3 to 7 meters, you know. So it's what they are helping is to create this harmonious field. But it can also happen that first people are shown what it is they need to bring in harmony, you know. So I always tell people, don't think you can be the nasty person you always were and you get a harmonizer and all of a sudden it takes care of it. You have to work on yourself, and the harmonizer can help you to achieve that.
So it can work better with people that they want to improve their lives, not just taking some passive tools that they have money to invest in. So if they are committed for their own growth and they are taking accountability for their actions, that can improve.
They support our growth. You know, they support us. And you know, what happens the more light we have, and this is what the harmonizers do, they create this coherent light field. And depending which size you have, the field gets stronger. Mm-hmm. And this is what's raising the consciousness, because we want to have more light on the planet, right? Mm-hmm. I think we all agree on that, because this is where we eventually all want to go, to be lighter, to be more fulfilled, more harmonious, and this is where the tools can help us, you know. And so this is how they are raising the consciousness. And I have some people are so in harmony with the harmonizer, they create miracles around them, you know. They, like, I have this friend in Montana, she has this one double the size, you know, which is called the wash tub. And we don't have one here anymore. And she is so in communication with that. And she has 3,500 acres, 3,500 acres, which is a lot. So on a Indian reservation, and she's half German actually and half Indian and Native American. And so she has been using the harmonizers, the wash tubs and the other harmonizers. And when there was a drought in Montana, on her ranch, it was lushy green. There were springs coming up that her mom didn't know of when she lived 50 years on the ground, you know. And the neighbors, it was all loud. And I said, well, not really nice not to include the neighbors. And she said, Katharina, I wanted to introduce this technology to the neighbors, and they didn't want to hear about it. They said, oh, you and your voodoo stuff. Mm-hmm. And now I have plenty, and they don't, because they don't want to hear about it.
So they had some resistance to change.
Yeah, exactly. And so this is, the more you can open up to them, the more miracles you can create, the more love and harmony you can spread around yourself and your area.
So that means that not only the harmonizer or a personal harmonizer works to enhance the coherence in one's biofield, one's space, one's subtle field, but it also creates the same coherence and more in nature.
Absolutely.
Where we can have geopathic stress lines, Hartmann lines, and probably other negative energies that would restrict a plant's growth or a tree's growth. So that would actually mean that we can use this technology to improve vegetables and fruits and our food, and especially for people that are investing their time and technology in their permaculture.
Oh yeah, you know, absolutely. We have farmers who don't need pesticides. This is the last keeper agricultural harmonizer. It has been helping for plants to grow better. They get stronger, you know, and a strong plant is, insects are not attracted, negative insects, harmful insects. They want weak plants because that's an easy prey, you know. They don't want a strong plant. That's too much work for them. They want, you know, weak plant. And so the harmonizers create this strong field around the plant. They grow better, they grow larger. We had a farmer in this watering system where the spigot goes back and forth. And so he would have like here a ring, two no rings, a ring, two no rings or three, and then a ring. So he could see exactly the plants that were watered through the rings versus the plants that were not watered through the rings. And the plants that were watered through the rings were much stronger, that when they checked them for quality control to export them, his produce was much stronger and healthier than anything else they've ever seen. You know, amazing. It's just a little copper ring gold-plated.
So it's just that we will need to want to improve ourselves, to improve our technology, to improve our growth and our well-being, not only in our biofield, but it's also in our food, in the biofield of our food. Because most of the contaminants are probably gonna affect our nervous system over the year, because we tend to get depleted if we do not act consciously and healthy. Conscious farmers.
Happy food, healthy food, that's what we want.